Hey, everybody, we have a very special treat, and we were challenged by our good old bud, Bobby Burns, to watch our very first wedding film and do our own reaction to it. So this is going to be a fun video. Thank you, Bobby, for the challenge. I'm pretty excited about this.
Every week we do live film critiques on the channel, and we figured we shouldn't just subject you guys to the harsh criticism. We should subject ourselves to this harsh criticism, and there will be much of it. So this is our very first wedding film we ever made. It's definitely the first wedding film. It's the first wedding film I even ever shot.
Yeah.
Or edited.
Yeah.
Or did anything for.
I had done a little bit of photography for weddings beforehand, but essentially when Jay and I started, we were like, how can we buy awesome gear and what will we shoot when we get it?
We didn't really have much of a plan, so you're going to see. We didn't know what we were doing, so do you want to just get into the film?
Yes, but before we do, I wanted to remind you of those live film critiques that we do every single Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the Wedding Film School YouTube channel. We do them. Make sure you're submitting on the weddingfilm.school website. We have a spot there that you can submit. So if it's your first wedding film or if it's your 20th wedding film, no matter what, it's not just for beginners. We love having people who are experienced, wanting to get better. That's the whole point of the Wedding Film School channel. We love to help people along and help each other, have you guys help us. And it's a pretty great community. We love you guys. So yeah, I think with that, why don't we just hop in?
Without further ado, here's our first ever wedding film.
5 years ago, that's when we started.
Yeah, 5 years ago is when we actually
Became friends separate from outside of a group setting.
That's so weird. I love this song. Also, the weird audio highlight at the beginning. It's going like a boat.
So by the time that it was official and public, everyone knew.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to hide your love.
See, that's a pretty sophisticated shot.
I mean, I'd get that similar shot. That one, not so much. That blown out Mark II footage.
Or just randomly rolling focus. All the micro jitters like crazy throughout the film. When do you see my stuff on the Nifty 50 later? That's a great shot, though.
Well, when we had first started dating, I had never dated anyone prior to Sarah.
Audio gone.
So it wasn't like, oh, this is the girl, like
this was recorded in a park in Boston.
Like, this is the one.
This audio.
It was just like, we became really comfortable together. Things weren't like
See, I like that shot.
natural, like our relationship, and we picked up on each other's little tendencies and whatnot, and it was just like,
Isn't it weird that
I
we didn't use any audio from the actual ceremony? We only used audio from that interview.
Yeah, and I wonder why. I forget.
We used no video from the. I think because we didn't have like any concept of how to record audio at a ceremony.
The board.
It's like orange. Like, it's so orange.
Lord. Must have been. Was that a glide cam?
Or it was on a monopod that you were just holding.
Oh. Maybe.
We were a couple summers ago camping.
Yeah, dude.
And we're like cooking and we're out at some campsites.
We were shooting on 5D Mark IIs.
All of a sudden, I just see Sarah like running. And Sarah doesn't run very often. Because she doesn't like running. Running so fast, like through the woods in the opposite direction. And me and Emily are like, Sarah, where are you going? And then finally, when she gets
Do we include any of the visuals of this girl talking?
Yeah.
She's like, can't even speak English. She's like, Orso, bear, in Portuguese. But of course, she didn't like tell us that there was a bear coming towards us until she was like far away, and then she warns us.
Oof. This footage, it's that darkness.
It's very hideous.
Oh, yikes!
Nothing's lit.
Pre-magic lantern.
Yep. Like,
Ooh. Wispy. Ooh.
so I like our shooting approach, but not our color. I will say this last shot is one of the best shots I feel like we've ever shot at a wedding. This sequence right here is so good.
It's pretty fun. I think that's your car in the background, shining light towards it. Pretty neat moment.
It looks awesome, and it's a cool moment.
A nice prime circles. Oh, yeah. Dope.
We're not going on honeymoon, dude.
Okay, so first of all, the song selection, Phantogram.
Love that
forget-
band, by the
Yeah,
way.
Phantogram. We were very hip. I mean,
Cooler than most. So that's why we decided to start with that shot.
Yeah, Phantogram and Sunflower. Yeah, well, there's a B on there.
Of course, and it's shallow depth of field, therefore good.
Yeah,
First thing I noticed, the audio is just some random. I think I was thinking like, oh, this is the beginning of their story 5 years ago.
yeah,
And then we start with this shot. Like, it's so, like, it's not that it's a bad shot to get.
yeah.
It was a weird shot to start the film with. It's like this hippie-ish vibe, and these people aren't like hipster sunflower people. They just happen to have sunflowers at the house.
Yeah, I think I feel like I mostly shot this film on the 50, like the entire thing. So it was just like, we're shooting all these opening shots of like dollies on a shelf at 1.2.
Yep. I mean,
Okay, stop it. Why the half-eaten apple on the table?
and then the Palm Pilot, the BlackBerry.
Oh yeah. A little like off-white from just use.
It's just like a weird bag.
Like, why wouldn't we just take that off the freaking table?
Like there's like a stain on the table. We would never shoot that now. We would probably like.
And what a
clean it
dumb
off.
shot, like makeup.
It was like a shot everyone shot for a while.
Yeah, it was.
Like, yeah. So we were just.
And especially as like dumb guys who were like, wow, there's a lot of stuff here.
You know what I noticed about the whole?
No
film?
idea.
We shoot a lot of handheld.
Yeah.
Like, and I actually don't mind a lot of it. Like, especially during the day, the color is worthless.
Yeah.
And we're shooting on cameras that if you went over like, do you remember those cameras? You went over like 1200 on the ISO. Your
You're toast.
color shift is
Yep.
so crazy. It was just terrible. And we had no lights,
Yep.
and so we didn't know what we were doing.
And they had a 12-minute record time.
Oh yeah, they did.
12-minute record time on the 5D Mark IIs.
You guys don't know how good you have it.
30 minutes is what's up. Luxury.
I think I put stabilization on that
I think we had to as well. Because
the warbles, like,
Were you walking with a
that was
monopod?
you. That was you.
I must have been.
You were walking with a monopod,
Walking with a monopod.
and you kind of pan. I mean, you did that a lot.
Looks like I'm like steering wheeling it.
You did that a lot.
Oh, yeah.
You used to shoot with that I think like,
So it was almost like a glide cam without the weights.
yeah, I was just muscling it out.
Stupid. Ooh.
It's just the way it's moving is
Yeah.
weird to me.
Yeah, I think that
This is
was
a nice shot though.
Yeah.
Even this, I like this.
The girl, that's a cool shot, going from one girl to the other.
That's looks bad, but it's a good shot. That's so
Dollies on the shelf.
hysterically funny.
And then it was like, what else is on shelves? Pig?
What I love is that in the edit, I put it in twice here, and then I was like, let's double down on that.
Well, what does it say here? Friends forever.
Who
Who though? Who are friends?
Well, it's just funny that I put it in there twice. I liked it enough. You
Yeah.
liked it enough to shoot the zoom in.
I wanted to give you options. That was-
And I was like, I'm taking it. Put it in there.
I love it.
Yeah.
Piggy bank, love. She believed she could, so she did. Get married. Good shot.
There's a lot of stuff like that. And then this shot is like,
Way overexposed, but whatever.
yeah, it's odd.
Do you remember, here, pause it for a second. Do you remember when we posted it, we're all proud, and then one guy was like, too many focus rolls.
Rolling focus randomly was cool.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
people would just like having things rolling in and out of focus, and that was like kind of the thing.
Yep.
So we weren't like intentionally, like we were trying to shoot kind of soft,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that was like the thing that we were like, oh, we're gonna be edgy like that,
Yeah.
and like shooting out of focus on purpose, being a little soft from time to time. It's not the end of the world. I think we took it a little too far.
I,
We took it a little too far.
probably agree with him now. was like, that guy doesn't know art.
Yeah, I agree with him now.
Yeah.
I mean, I like a lot. Like this
I like
is
how
a
you
great
edited
sequence.
it. Yeah. You got to pick up these chords. At the time, maybe it wasn't like a pretty like wedding film, but it probably ages like, hey, this is how the day actually felt. I think they know all these people in the band, so it's like,
Yeah,
this
they're
is
all
valuable
their
to
friends.
them. Yeah,
it's all their
so-
friends, all their family. I mean, I actually think narratively, this is a very sophisticated film. You have an interview done outside of the thing, creating a narration for this day.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we did this film for free, by the way.
yeah. This is a free film.
That right there.
Oh.
So that's the way that
What
racks
is that
focus.
even? Is that a little xylophone?
Yeah, it's a xylophone that they were using, but like,
Okay.
but that's the way that thing racks focus in like a plane.
Yeah.
It doesn't like look. It's like that's a cheap little lens with like a plastic
Yeah.
focus ring. Like my white balance is like all over the place. I didn't even buy. I mean, you didn't have. Yeah, you see the way it rolls. What was I thinking?
Yeah.
It's different. Like this is the one. It was just like
Flower, just randomly whoop, flower in the foreground.
That's a good shot.
Yeah,
For a-
I actually love the way we covered this ceremony.
Yeah.
It looks better than some of the ways we cover them now. Sometimes, like it feels good handheld. It feels like
it's like
You know what you don't notice in this film?
no.
People holding up their stupid cell phones.
Yeah, that's true. Or okay,
Soundboard.
this is where we start getting into. We had no idea what we were doing. First
Yeah,
of all,
we were like, what even happens at a reception?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know. Like, this is where I was like, we have no idea what we're doing. Everything being with terrible, terrible, terrible light was like, and then we didn't light anything. There wasn't even lights you could buy.
It looks so bad. That the reds in that's all added, dude. That's
We didn't know what we were
yellow.
doing. We didn't know how to deal with like
How do we
problems.
make this look better?
But I will say, if you suck at color, you can still, sell wedding films.
Yep.
So we sold a lot of wedding films off this wedding film. That.
Why that shot?
I mean, I think that was a representative of that crew.
Yeah.
I love this shot, even though it's kind of messy. It feels fun.
Yeah.
It looks like he's singing the song too. I like that.
That's a sweet shot. Good light.
Well, that kid was everywhere. I love this shot,
light.
even though it's messy.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you told the story. This is a funny story, but like the audio sounds so bad.
Yeah. That reds. Yikes.
I like the way this was like a very homey wedding
Yep.
too, which was kind of a good vibe.
Yep.
So like I kind of missed this.
Yeah.
Like it was so personal.
Yeah.
So this shot
It's a
coming
great
up.
shot.
Yeah,
How did I get that shot on a monopod walking?
I don't know. And it's lit too.
I got better throughout the day, probably.
Yeah.
This is the first time I'm trying this technique.
The next shot, we're going to do a set shot. And so we took my car, we parked it so it was shining down
Yeah.
the driveway. And
Yeah.
then I sat in the front seat with them. And then as they were driving down, I just was like, hey, I just want to capture your reactions. And so like the instincts of the storytelling, I feel like we're there.
Yeah.
And you see the production side too. Like when we knew how to control it, we knew how to do it.
Yeah.
But we didn't know what we were doing in that. The reception is where it all fell apart.
Yeah. And that came together. Once they left that god awful room.
It was an ugly room, to
Yeah.
be fair. Look, the walls are yellow. The light is also yellow.
And then just like, what was the dynamic range? Like 4,
Yes.
6 on those cameras? Like, look at that shot. It's so bad.
Yep. So anyway, that's what this shot coming up is. That
Still love that car. Great looking. Good.
cool, man. I would
Love those lens flares.
I would kill to shoot this shot now.
Yeah.
Like we would never get this shot now because we wouldn't invest the time to get it.
Yeah.
This is like
Those lens flares remind me of the Blade Runner lens flares. Those circular. Oh, it's so nice looking.
yeah, it'd be better now because it'd be, properly color corrected. So anyway, what's your impressions of the film after you watch that film?
I want to hear people critique us on this wedding film in the comment section because I want it to be trashed.
Yeah.
We trash people's weddings in and out every single weekend. So this is your shot, guys, to leave your comments. Let us know what you think. This was in 2010, so give us a little bit of grace. Would love to hear from you guys. Again, make sure that you are submitting your films. We'd love to see you on the WFS live show every Thursday, 9 p.m. Make sure you're checking it out and submitting your films.
We all start somewhere.
Yep.
We all start somewhere. So whatever film you got, don't be ashamed to show it, because that's the only way we get better.
That's right. Make sure you're checking it out, guys. Get yourself schooled here on the Wedding Film School.